today we're welcoming Sarah Janabi, which is an entrepreneur and also an author of 2 books. Sarah, will you tell us a little bit, what have you been up to?
Hi Adila, thank you for having me here today. So, as you mentioned, I'm currently the director of our family business, Lea Cafe, found in Port Louis, Newton Tower. And I'm also studying at the moment. I just started my master's in psychology. And I've also written 2 books in the past 3-4 years. So the latest one was More Than Pretty Words, which I've published last year, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Can you tell me what inspired you to write the book?
So the first book, which was Miraki, by age 18, I had compiled hundreds of pieces of writing. And at the time, I did see Rupi Kaur's first book, Milk and Honey. I didn't know that poetry books actually existed. So when I saw that, I was like, I should try that. Why not? I have the content, so why not put all my pieces together and create something? It was scary because I didn't know how to go about here in Mauritius. I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah.
But I just went for it. So that's how Miraki came to life. And after the response, after a year, I felt that I always had this love for writing. So I kept on writing. And I just decided, well, I need a second one now. So that's how this one came to life. And
I particularly like this one. There are certain poems in it that has so much meaning. And I truly believe that you've reached out to many individuals with the words and being able to express certain type of issues and negative emotions that arises. I do believe that you have, at the time when you were writing this book, you were going through some issues yourself. Do you want to share that a little bit?
Yeah, I guess the transition from teenagehood to adulthood, even though I'm still young, I'm just 23, but that transition is, it's quite a big shift in one's life, and I guess it can be overwhelming, and of course you do get all of these negative emotions. So I think my way of dealing with that was to put it out in writing.
Yes.
Definitely I do have the artistic side, which not everything that's in the book is what I've been through. I do like to observe, I see what people have gone through, and I try to put it down in my own words. So yeah, this phase of teenagehood to adulthood was definitely the inspiration for this one. This book is definitely more mature than the first one.
Than the first one. Yeah, you have definitely found such a natural and healthy way to deal with certain negative emotions by writing about it. Normally, individuals of that particular phase of transition, like we're saying, there's not a particular phase of where we go through certain things in our life, but where you could deal with all those emotions that were arising. I often say that there's not a particular path in how things go and how we need to handle things, but I always find that it's so challenging for individuals to deal with all the type of emotions that happens through the changes and the phases of life. So we have these positive phases where we feel constructive and we can be happy and take good decisions, and then we have these negative emotions, which is anger, anxiety, depression. All emotions, all our emotions, they are normal. And I think that people tend to forget that all emotions are normal. However, how we learn to deal with them, that is when we kind of need to get a balance of what works for us and what doesn't. Many individuals, they don't keep a journal, or they don't have a constructive way of dealing with negativity, and they get stuck in very bad choices and decisions. Honestly, what advice would you have for anyone dealing with negative emotions, and tell us, how do you keep a balanced zone in your life with all of that?
I think the most important thing is to acknowledge the emotion, to label it, and writing it down is, for me personally, the best way to do that, because you see your emotions on paper, you're able to analyze it, you're able to see your patterns. And when I was going through a hard time, I did start journaling, not the book, just personal journaling, finding guides online and just trying to do it myself. But obviously not everyone can do it by themselves, and many people need a push. And for me, definitely my parents did help me get through this kind of overwhelming phase.
Yes.
Through their own advice, and I took that. That was my push. But definitely some people will need an external person to help them deal with these emotions and find a way to label them, to acknowledge them, to analyze them, and to truly acknowledge their patterns and what can be done to undo these patterns and transform it into something positive.
Would you say that you are naturally motivated, or what inspires you to continuously be motivated to do what you do?
I think, well, that's a tricky question. I am naturally, I am very ambitious.
Yes, you are ambitious.
I am very ambitious. I do have many goals. I have a lot of plans, and I do want to achieve all of these goals. But obviously, I'm also very perfectionist, and that can set me back if I don't reach a particular goal in a particular time frame. And that can bring the negative emotions. So that's when I have to just sit down and remind myself it's normal, and not to be so hard on myself, and everything happens when it should happen. I should just take that
I love
as
how you, I love how you say that it's just acknowledging and accepting those emotions, because that is just what it's all about. We could go through a whole roller coaster of emotions in a day, and it's definitely going to be what we're going to focus on that is going to make the difference, because we have about 70 to 80% of negative thoughts a day. Okay, and that means that the thoughts that we choose, and that is what we feed. Okay, and I have this saying that I always repeat, and I even tell myself this, like, be careful what you tell yourself. Be careful what you tell yourself. Your body's listening. Your body's listening, and that is honestly the truth. We do get to choose, right, on what we want to focus on, and what thoughts we're going to feed. It is so beautiful to see that. Of course, you are the businesswoman, and you're right. You're really hard on yourself. You're extremely ambitious. It's beautiful. It is very admirable for others, because people usually, like I say, they see someone that's achieving and that's doing great in their life, and they don't often say, you know what, Sarah, you are doing well. Things are, it is, don't stop doing what you're doing, because there are people that are inspired by you, and you bring across this message and speak for people and individuals that of your age, and anyone, like we're saying, that go through certain challenges and phases where, you know, they can relate. If we had, okay, so I do believe that you mentioned, and previously I remember you mentioned something about the first time you got on stage and you were really frightened, but you were still fearful and you did it anyway. How
I got through that.
Okay, how you got through that.
A few years ago, I did acknowledge that I do have a strong social anxiety.
Yes.
I acknowledge that. I didn't know it existed. When I read about it, I realized I had it. And looking back, I realized this steps that I took to now be able to kind of get over it. And about performing on stage, the first time was I was 15. I couldn't imagine being in front of a stage, and it was the first time I had performed a poem, as a piece of writing, and it was terrifying. It was just, I couldn't imagine doing it. But once I didn't think too much. I just got on stage. I did it for the first time. I loved it. I never thought I would, but I loved it. And as from then, I just, I wanted to keep doing it more and more. And so that just shows that your fear, if you just face it and make it happen, it might turn into something you really love. You have to just go for it.
Definitely, I do things that I'm scared about every day. Okay, if there are any skills are there any skills that you would say is required in everyday life that individuals need to succeed, what skills would you say those are?
I think it's discipline.
Discipline?
Yeah, definitely through discipline, you're able to look inwards.
Yes.
And take the time to look inwards, because we don't have time to do that.
Yes.
But if you're disciplined and you can manage your time, you can manage your thoughts, you can manage your surrounding, that gives you the space to really have some introspection. And from that's where you can really organize your life and succeed. And because without discipline, I believe you cannot succeed.
You cannot succeed.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Yes, I would say a discipline, dedication.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah, of course.
I know you do all those things. You're very focused and goal orientated for the vision of what you're going towards, and that is absolutely amazing. Okay, so it is a very it's such an honor having you here. But besides us sharing all these normal challenges of life that we face every day and what we work through as individuals, I've got a few fun questions for you that you need to answer as soon as possible, like as quick as possible. And okay, so I do know that you are the businesswoman of the cafe, but I would like to ask you, if you could invent a new dish, what ingredients would it have?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I guess I would want to incorporate more of the Middle Eastern flavors, which you don't find here in Mauritius.
The Middle Eastern
more of that, because I don't know, that's kind of the roots of where we're from. So I would want to add definitely Middle Eastern flavors.
Flavors. Okay. All right then. What's your go-to dance move?
There's no specific dance move. I just move when there's music. There's no dance move. You just move.
You just move. There's no particular order in how you do that.
No.
Okay. What would you say is the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? This is something funny that we can just laugh about.
I fell down how do you call it?
It's not serious, was it?
No, it wasn't serious, but it was embarrassing. It was a canal in the road just in front of a whole bus stop, and my leg got down till here in the canal. I just fell down. That was for me. That was very.
You got up.
I got up. It was fine, but it was just the fall was embarrassing. That was very
All right then. If someone wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
It's hard enough finding a title for our own books. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to. I'm still in that phase of I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
I think could it be It's My Life? Oh, you're right.
No
okay, you don't know what it would be. Okay, but if you had a cat pet, and it could talk, what would her or his catchphrase be?
I do have 2 kittens. I have 2 little kittens.
Okay, if they could speak, what would the catchphrase be?
Catchphrase. They'd be wanting food all the time, so something related to food. Like,
feed me, mama.
Feed me, literally, yes.
All right then. Okay, and then if you could create a new invention, what would it be?
No, don't ask me these questions, because I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, all right then. All right, one last one. If you could wear one color for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Black.
Black. I totally agree with that.
Black.
I don't know why, but black just works for everything.
It works for everything.
You don't have to think much about it.
No.
It's
practical.
It's practical. It's elegant. It's smart, and it works any time of the day. All right then. Sarah, I know you're continuing your studies and you're busy with your masters, and like I'm saying, please do not stop writing This was only the beginning, but I think that there's so much to share. And going in the path of psychology, it's such a beautiful path. And everything that you have achieved and that you are pursuing in your path, I can only wish you to do it with all your heart, and may happiness and love just follow you all the way. I do believe that, like I say, when you have a vision, it's really hard because that is what you focus on, and that's the importance of imagination and creativity and a visualization, because you must have an idea or a vision of where you want to go and what you want with your life. And it is such not only a pleasure but a blessing that you know what you want to do. Like you're saying, it is so hard to find and get a path of what you need to follow and what you need to do. Just remember that whatever path you choose, it is unique. Or everyone's path is extremely unique. There's no particular order for how it's going to happen. But whatever you decide in your life, see it through. Everything will have its advantages and disadvantages, but nothing must stop you from doing what you want to do. Self-belief, confidence, and
discipline.
Discipline. Lots and lots of discipline. Thank you, everyone.